welcome back to my channel. I apologise for the poor light. It is 8:20 this morning and I am up doing a video because this is how my life rolls now. I apologise if my hair looks a bit it's sort of like, I'll just pull back because I need to get it cut, sorted, all of that jazz. But I wanted to share with you my book declutter for January because I am about to buy a bookcase for my nice books, all the ones with the sprayed edges and all the ones that I want to keep. But I've had a read and get rid of pile that, for those of you that have been the original, you know, been since the beginning, you will have seen my read and get rid of and my various attempts at trying to make it disappear. So what I've done is I started unhauling books from it. As I was going through it thinking, actually, hang on a minute, that's not the first one in the series and I'm not that interested in the series. So what I will do is I will put a picture up of I think it's 2 or 3 that I've already taken out of the pile. So ironically, we started with 70-ish books. 66, 70, oh no, 70, it's either 73 or 74, depending on how many books are in that graphic. So having taken those out, we are down to 70 books, of which 4 of those I've already taken out to read because I've decided that we're going to start I'm going to start a reading challenge where I am going to try and get rid of at least 4 a month. So that gets rid of 52 books across the year. As I need it to be a little bit exciting, I decided to call it track by track. The prompts are music related, and then you find a book that goes with that kind of prompt. So the first roll, as it were, roll my wheel, will be at the end of this video, and that will pick what I read in January to go into a video in February. So without further ado, let's go through the pile. You will find that the ones that have been chosen are not in this list because they've already come out, but I will go over them at the end. Okay, so we have 66 books and a very active guinea pig. We have 66 books. Do you want to come out and say hello to the people? No. No, they don't want to come and say hello to the people. So we'll start sorting books. I have got a drink to keep going on the way because you've got to stay hydrated. Right, let's go. They're little, they're babies, they're just running around like in circuits. Right, so we're going to start with, there is going to be a Christmassy version of track by track as well, which we'll get done in July, because we're going to do Christmas in July, November and December. So we've got 3 months of that. So I've kind of got I think I've worked out I've got just enough. I say the Christmas books will literally go into those months, hopefully. But at the end of the day, we're all adults, so it doesn't necessarily matter if we read a Christmas book when it's not Christmas. They're watching because they've not seen. I think they've very rarely seen me vlog. So they're probably wondering why I'm sat on the floor, and you're probably wondering what I'm doing. But they're very cute, so it's fine. I can't catch them, so what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of footage in here of the day they arrived, because you're just so cute, aren't you? Ones for Christmas, so I'm tempted to just keep them. I think a majority of these, because I feel like I've been through this pile, because I used to be over 100 in this pile, so I feel like I have been through it. But now this 2026 is the year to actually cull it. So we're actually gonna, you know, by the end of the year there will be no more read and get rid of pile. It will literally be a stream of books. We'll have my library books, we'll have the ones that I buy, maybe we'll have reading get well, but then they come in, I read them and they go. So that's the plan. So we also have The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson. So what's this one about? Oh, it's a I quite like Doctor Romances, so I think we might end up keeping that one as well, but that's going to go in the non-Christmassy pile. Carrying on, The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. That's obviously going to go in the Christmas pile, and I love Lucy Score, so that one is staying for the moment. So Taylor Jenkins Reid, After I Do. They're probably going to be people that are probably going to think this is a really this isn't a popular decision, but I find that I've not found that Taylor Jenkins Reid, I don't find her books that interesting, but then that's just me. So I am going to be unhauling that one, so we'll unhaul that one. Then I am really behind the curve because we then have Twilight and New Moon, and I think somewhere in here, I think they might be on a bookshelf over there. I might have the rest of the series. I think I do have the rest of the series, but part of me does want to start it. I don't know, I've been very umming and ahhing about Twilight, so I think I'm going to keep those ones. I feel like the ones that are on the top are the ones that I'm generally keeping, and then as we get deeper down, it'll be a mass unhauling. So I feel like this doesn't feel like it's doing it justice yet, because I've just looked at the next two books, and the next two books I want to keep as well. But that's because they're the newer ones, because the newer ones get chucked on top, whereas the ones nearer the bottom are the ones I've had a little bit longer, and my tastes may have changed slightly. So we've got Since You've Gone by Nooska Knight. This won a romance competition. I just can't think what year, and it doesn't tell me. It'll probably be the year that it was 2013, and I've always wanted to read it, but I've never bought it or found it, and then I happened to find it in a book sale. So I decided to keep it, and I'm going to pop it on the pile to see what happens. I might keep it, I might not, we'll see. And then we have Ali Hazelwood, The Love Hypothesis. I absolutely love Ali Hazelwood, so that one is going to be staying. I don't necessarily think I love Ali Hazelwood enough that I would put it on my keep pile, but I want to make sure I read it before it goes. So Lily Bartlett, The Not So Perfect Plan to Save a Friendship House. I want to say it's fluff. It's a certain type of fiction that I used to read in droves, but I tend not to anymore because they're all very romantic. They're all very samey. I've kind of moved on to the type of book where more romantasy, more fantasy. Because I think as though these had their day. They got me back into reading, but I don't think that time. I think that time has passed. So I'm going to pass that on to someone else that might find that a little bit more interesting. Right, so I have two Karen Swans now. So we have Christmas on Primrose Hill and Christmas Under the Stars. I do like Karen Swan, and I want to read her back catalogue in the same way that I've just finished reading Heidi Swain's back catalogue. So those ones will be going on the pile, but they'll obviously be going on the Christmas pile. I will share how many is in each pile once we get to the other end. This is a children's book that I used to read when I was a child, and I loved them. I loved the Animal Art book, I loved the Dolphin Diaries books, I loved them all. I don't necessarily think I'm going to want to reread it as an adult. I thought it might be exciting to do, reread your childhood, but I don't think the time is here. I don't think it's going to come back, to be honest. So I'm going to unhaul that one. Only Fools and Stories. I do love David Jason, so that's definitely a stay. And I do love a good biography because I'm a little bit nosy, so that stays. Call of the Penguins. So I've already read Away with the Penguins, so I will definitely be reading the sequel. That's definitely one that's going to be going on my list. Worryingly so. I think the keep pile at the moment, as you probably could guess it, I can see it because it's down here, is much bigger than the get rid of pile. So we may have to go and maybe have a rethink of the pile. But we, you know, we're decluttering, we're trying, we're going to see how it goes. Then I have the whole set. There's another one somewhere. We'll find it. The fern cotton ones. And I do think I did want to read these at one point. I do think that maybe now I'm finding out a little bit more about myself and, you know, the ADHD and all that jazz, that these might actually be a lot, it might, you know, might just be easier, better. I might get more out of them, so I'm definitely going to keep hold of those. Okay, second pile. L. Kennedy's The Deal. My friend Emily tells me that I need to read these. She says they're really good. And they're a bit, I would say are they a bit Hallie Hazelwood? I don't know, but they're kind of new romance that I do like now. That's not quite as fluffy as the Beside the Sea ones that I was reading before. So that's definitely going to stay. Run Baby Run. So this book I bought in a Christian bookshop. Because, well, I say when I was a Christian, no, I bought it in a Christmas bookshop at the beginning of my church journey. And this book is about people on the street finding God. So it is a little bit, by the looks of it, it's non-fiction. It is a bit of a biography. I am somewhat still intrigued. I was intrigued when I picked it up and I'm still intrigued now. So that one will probably be staying. They're just watching me vlog. It's great. It's quite cute. Then we have a children's book, Song for a Whale. I don't read a lot of children's books, so I think I'm going to make that one disappear. So we have... There's no rhyme or reason to this pile because I've just found more Christmas ones. So we've got Kathy Bramley's A Merry Little Christmas. Now I forgot up to date with the Heidi Swain books. I am going to start getting up to date with the Kathy Bramley ones. I am, to be honest, I've read most of them anyway. So that's not a too mean feat, but this is one of the ones I haven't read, so we're going to pop that on the Christmas pile. I feel like the Christmas ones are going to be a bit more fluffy, just purely because that's when I do read fluff. Well, I say fluffy, but the more by the sea log cabin jobs. I say log cabin because the next one's got a log cabin and I'll just get the dust off of it. So we've got Christmas at the Log Fire Cabin by Catherine Ferguson. I do like Catherine Ferguson. I have read other things. Oh my god, there's so much dust on these books. So that one will be staying and I'll pop that on the Christmas pile. And I'm about to sneeze, I think. No, maybe we're okay. Then we have, I've got very into Kristin Hanna in the last year. This is the Flyaway. This is the follow-up to Firefly Lane, and I want to read Firefly Lane and this one before I watch the TV series on Netflix. That's got quite a few people in it that I quite like, so it's definitely on my list of things to watch. So that was going to stay, but it's not going to be in the... It's not going to be in with the prompts because I've got to have read the first one first. So once I've read the first one, it'll get slotted in for the prompts. Sweet Valley Confidential. I was quite excited about this when it first came out, which was quite a while ago, I think. 2011. Or was that? It wasn't that long ago, but that's actually quite a long time ago. I do still want to read this one, so I'm going to try and get through that one this year because it would be interesting to see what happens in this one. Originally, I was going to go back and reread all of the original ones, but I gave up with that because they had a place and I'm just not in that place anymore and I want to have enjoyed it for what it is. So the next one we have is Sun Sister. It's the only one of the 7 sisters that I've not read by Lucinda Riley, so I kind of want to get that one in, so that then I can say that I have read them all. The Happy Glampers by Daisy Tate. This one is quite fluffy, but I am going to give it a try because my mum said it was very good. So we're going to give that one a try. At the end of the day, we can always DNF as we go if I don't like it or it's just a bit fluffy for me. So we also have Remarkably Bright Creatures. This was I'm trying to remember which one of my friends at work said this was a recommendation. So I don't know which person it was because I talk to loads of people about books all the time. So that one is definitely going to go on the stay pile. Divas Don't Knit. That's purely because I knit, so I find that really exciting. There is also a second one that's called Needles and Pearls, which I think is in this pile somewhere. If not, if I enjoy this, I will try and get a hold of it. But this one may be a bit fluffy as well, or a bit romancy. We'll see. I've read so much. Romantasy recently that I don't know where I sit at the moment. So this is a maybe. We also have Call the Midwife. Ironically, I've never read it. It is a non-fiction, so that's definitely going to stay on the pile. Marion Keyes, Rachel's Holiday. I never read this the first time round, so I am going to... I say the first time round. Oh no, this is the first one. Then the second one was, again, Rachel, which is the one that I saw recently that I might want to read. So this one's going to go on the to read pile. The next one is another recommendation from somebody at work. Over My Dead Body by Maz Evans. Maz Evans tends to write children's books, I believe, but this is her first adult thriller. So we're gonna give it a go, and Anne-Marie says good. So we'll give it a try. I think now we're gonna hit a few unhauls because we've got The Pet Shop at Pennycombe Bay by Sheila Norton. It's not that I don't like Sheila Norton. I don't think that kind of book is really for me anymore. So I'm gonna put that on the unhaul pile. Oh, the pile's getting further away. Then we've also got Escape to Riverside Cottage by Sheila Norton. It's going to be the same reasons again. I just think that my tastes have changed a little bit, so that's going to go on the unhaul pile as well. Onto a Christmassy book. Even though this is a children's book, I have met the author, so I want to have a crack at this one. It's called The Christmas Carols. It's a series and it's by Mel Taylor Bessard. So that's going to go on my Christmas pile. And then finally, I said we'd find it. We found the other Fern Cotton. So as I've kept the other two in my pile, then this Fern Cotton's going to join it. We've got another children's book, The Lost Whale by Hannah Gold. And I do love Hannah Gold, but I'm just not really reading children's books anymore. So I think this one's going to be another one that's going to go. At the end of the day, if I ever change my mind, I can always get it from work. And I'm losing the feeling in my feet. I'm being watched. Then we have an NCIS novelisation. I love NCIS LA, so that one will be staying. And we have another Lucy Score, Fall into Temptation. I found out this is the second one in a series, so what I've done is I've ordered the first one because I know I am going to want to read it. So I've ordered the first one from the library, and then I'm going to read that one and then read this one when it gets here. So that one will stay on the pile, but that one won't necessarily go into the wheel. That will just filter in as and when I've read the first one. Trying not to make this video horrendously long, but it is starting to get quite long. Okay, so we have another, I want to say another Christian novel. Is it a novel? Yes, this one's a novel. It's called Any Minute by Joyce Meyer. I am still intrigued by this one, so I will be adding this to the pile. as and when, I'm not going to talk about the blurbs in this video, just purely because there's a lot of books to get through. As and when they come up on the wheel, then we'll talk blurbs and what I thought. We also have The Knitting Diaries by Debbie Macumber. I used to really love Debbie Macumber. I also like Susan Mallory and Christina Sky. They're amazing. I don't read them quite as much anymore, but I feel like this might be just a nice little, you know, just to try something different. It'll be like an interlude to some of the romantasy that I'm reading, because I bought it and I really do want to read it. Another one that looks like it may be an unhaul. Yes, because I've already unhauled The Girl's Guide to Homemaking, which will have been in the graphic at the beginning of this video, and then we have The Saturday Supper Club. So that one's going to go on the unhaul pile as well, along with It Ends With Us. I've read this, I've watched the film, I don't know why I've still got it, so I'm literally going to unhaul that one as well, because I can't imagine that it's going to be one that I'm going to want to read again. Then we have The Fairdale Ladies Book Club by Sophie Green. I'm going to give this one a try, even though it's a little bit fluffy, because I do like the ones that are book related or are in libraries. So I'm going to give this one another shot. Well, so I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to give this a shot. I haven't read it yet. Then we have, let's grab another pile. So we have Miranda Dickinson, Things We Do for Love. I do love Miranda Dickinson, and I am working through her back catalogue, even though she's a little bit of the romance that I used to read. But there are some authors that are going to be coming through it anyway, because I loved the author so much that we're going to continue on. So this one is definitely going on the read pile. I've got a vague feeling I'm going to have more than 52 books. We may have a problem. But we'll keep going, because I feel like we're getting to the bottom. We're in the last third of the pile. This is one that is going to be going because it's another one of these like by the sea ones, and it's not an author I've tried before, so I'm just going to like cut my losses just because I'm not that into the genre as much anymore. And that's The Little Bed and Breakfast by the Sea by Jennifer Joyce. So that's going to go on the unhaul pile. Oh, there's so much... Ugh. That's what happens when you don't touch piles for ages. And then another book that was recommended by one of our volunteers. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but it is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. And I'm going to give that one a try. But that's kind of like, by the reading, looking at the back, it's almost like a maybe, maybe not. It might not be my genre. But at the end of the day, we're going to give things a try as and when we go. And then we have another Lucy Score, The Things We Never Got Over. Obviously, that's a given, but I think that's the first one. I'm saying that boldly, but I think it might not be. I'll go and find out whether that's the first one. If not, I'll get the first one and read that one first. Okay, round 3, Homing Straight. So we have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is not the first one in the series by the looks of it, so I will make sure that I read them in the right order. So that means that one probably won't go into my spinning wheel, but that was another recommendation from a volunteer at work. Alongside Under Lock and Key by Lana Ferguson. I think I've already had a Lana Ferguson in this pile. This one I was actually quite interested in because I saw it on the Afterlight website, so this one is actually intriguing me quite a lot. So that one's going to go in the keep pile. Melissa Hill, Wishful Thinking. I read this when it first came out and I really enjoyed it, so I'm going to give it another whirl. If I don't like it, it'll go. If I do like it, then it might stay. But, you know, I feel like this is a little bit of a reminiscent read for me. Then we have Happy Families. This won a prize, but I can't for the life remember which one. Oh, no, there you go, it says on the back. It was the Richard and Judy Search for a Bookseller 2020. So... yeah, so this one's a little bit of a, it's not fluffy, it's a little bit intriguing, so we're going to give that one a whirl. The Bookish Life of Nina Hill by Ali Waxman. She works at a bookstore, so that's a given. That one's going to stay. Then this one's going to go, I think, because this one's also, I've got rid of others by her anyway, or Unhauled, and then it's not the type of book that I read anymore, and it's The Big Little Wedding in Carlton Square by Lily Bartlett. So that'll go on the Unhaul pile. Then we have Lamplighters, which I do really want to read, so I'm going to try and get that in this year somewhere. So that one stays. Then we have Scorched by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I really want to read more because I read a lot of Jennifer L. Armentrout in my early 20s, because that was how you got, well, I say romantasy, that was paranormal romance back then. So this is almost like, I didn't read this one, but this is like reliving my youth. And as far as I'm aware, this is the first one. So that'll be going in the pile. So we have Once Smitten, Twice Shy by Chloe Lees. I don't know if this is the first one, but it also, Ali Hazelwood talks about it on the front. So I think it's going to be a good one. But at the end of the day, you know, it's the trying new authors. You know, I'm trying a slightly different genre. It's still romance, but it's slightly different. So we'll give that one a go and see what we think. Because as I say, we can always unhaul later and DNF it if I don't like it. You know, life's too short to keep going if you don't need to. And then we have a fluffy one, but I kind of want to read this one. So this one's talking about a movie club, the Meryl Streep movie club. And it says on the back, for fans of the Friday night knitting club. I absolutely loved that one, so we'll be giving this one a try. I think I can see another Unhaul, Jim and Slimline by Emma Burstall. I have read Emma Burstall and she just wasn't my jam, just wasn't my thing, so I am going to unhaul that one. That one's in the wrong pile, that should be on the bookcase. So we have Louise Calendish, Before We Say Goodbye. Someone told me that this was really epically amazing. So I'm going to give it a try because I always love a good recommendation. We have a few more unhauls. But not that one. So another one of these unhauls is My Dark Desire by L.J. Shen and Parker S. Huntington. This isn't the first one in the series, and I gave it some thought, and to be brutally honest, there's so much on my list that I want to get through this year that I've written it down. I can get it from work if I want to, but I don't feel like I need to have it at home on site, as it were. So that's going in the unhaul pile. Then we have Dearest Rivals, which I did want to read like a decade ago, and I never got around to it, so I just don't think it's my jam anymore, so I'm going to unhaul that one. We've got 5 books to go. So we have Escape to Willow Cottage. I keep turning around because they keep running around. By Bella Osborne. I did love Bella Osborne, but I just found it started to get a little bit samey. For me, it's just not my jam anymore. As I say, I've moved genres quite a bit. So yeah, this is going to be going in the unhaul pile. Then we have The Hidden Base by A.E. Warren. I have read the first one, which escapes me what it's called, Subject 21. And I loved Subject 21. The only thing was I read it over a year ago. So I may well have to go and read it again. I've got it on Kindle, so it's all good. But The Hidden Base is the second one. And then there's 4 in the series. So I do want to continue with that as a series. So that'll be going on the pile, but maybe not necessarily into the wheel. I'll split them up in a minute and go into what's going into the wheel, because we want 52 books. I run it, ideally, that's 4 a month, or 1 a week, to go into the wheel. The rest of them will be like sequels and other things. They will just be a pile on the side that I'll work my way through, especially if I'm waiting for first ones, or I've got to read the first one first, obviously, because you've kind of got to. Annie Robinson, My Mamma Mia Summer. I am an ABBA crazed maniac, so that is definitely not going anywhere. So we have 2 left. We have Written in the Stars by Helen Rolfe. I picked this one up because it was very, very, very cheap. I think it was like £2 when I was ordering books on Amazon. It's not the first one, but the first one I think is on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm going to read that one first. So that's going to go on the pile. And then we have one last one, which I think is going to be an unhaul, and that's Debbie Macumba, Promise Texas. It's not the first one in the series, and the problem is that the rest of the series is very hard to get hold of, and I don't know if my interest is that exciting. You know, I don't know if I'm that excited to get started. Anyway, so that's going on the unhaul pile. So I'm now going to pootle off, put the kettle on, sort books, and then I will come back and give you the lowdown as to how many our numbers have gone down to when we started with 74. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've come back with some numbers. So in the end I ended up taking out 6 sequels. So there'll be ones that will just get filtered in as and when. I've got 7 Christmas books, so that'll do about 2 months. So I reckon that'll be July and December. And there are 36 books left in the Read and Get Rid Of, which actually works amazingly well to get it done this year. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm unhauling 19. So yeah, all in all, I'm quite pleased with that. You know, at the end of the day, we've got 43. So there's 43 books in the Read and Get Rid Of pile. Obviously there's 4 that I've already taken out because I've started doing January's. So yeah, to be honest, this is actually quite doable for the year, so I'm actually quite excited. But thank you very much for being here if you're still here. Yeah, it's a challenge, but we're going to go with the declutter challenge for 2026. I've decided that 2026 is the year that everything's going to change. So we're going to rock on and we're going to do it. So let's do it. Take care.